Most new Etsy sellers waste months creating digital products that never sell. And it's not because their designs are bad, it's usually because they just choose the wrong products. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 beginner-friendly digital products that are blowing up right now so you can start making some sales. And for a few of these products, I've created templates for you that if you are in the Sales Sprint, which is my mentorship program, you will have access to those templates so you don't have to create them from scratch yourself. If you are not in the Sales Sprint, go to the description below where you can get all of the details and you can get access to those templates if you'd like to use them. And for the people who are new here, I just want to put a disclaimer that these are not digital product ideas that's going to make you like $10,000 a day. I am not one of those people. These are simple digital product ideas that can make you a few hundred extra bucks a month. I am a stay-at-home mom. We were a one-income family for many years, and so I am not the person who is going to sell you the dream of the $10,000 months and $1,000 days. I do not do that here. I am just trying to help people make some extra money from home. And so these are just digital product ideas that will help you make a few hundred extra bucks per month and over $1,000 a month, just something to kind of help you get ahead. So let's start with digital product idea number 1, which is signature cocktail signs. And so this digital product here is making a little over 300 sales per month. And if we look at the listing age, it is 9 months old, so it's less than a year old, and it's made almost 2,600 sales in 9 months, which is great. And to get this data here, I'm just using Everbee. You can see their little logo here. I will have a link for you in the description if you want to try out Everbee. I use the growth plan. That's the plan that I've noticed gives you a good amount of data without costing an arm and a leg. And so I use the growth plan currently to get this data. And so I'll leave a link for you in the description if you want to try it out too. Because what I've been noticing is that it's not really the SEO, your search engine optimization anymore. I've really just been going by sales volume to figure out what products I want to list. And so if I see a product is getting multiple hundred sales per month, even like 30 sales per month, because that's about a sale a day, which is great. So if something is getting over 30 sales per month, then I will consider creating that product. And then when I go over here to analyze listing, I will scroll down. And so you can see here, they're making about 1,400 per month with this listing. Although I think it is, so it's marked down. So they're not quite making that. They're probably making closer to like 800 or something a month with this listing, which is still great. Like I said, a stay-at-home mom making an extra $800 a month from one listing is crazy. So I would be so happy with that. But if we go down to the tags, what I do is just find one of the keywords. So these over here are keywords. And what you want to do is find one that has a volume. I usually do more than 300, so volume of greater than 300. And for the competition, I like to stay under 20,000 is my max. But of course, the lower the competition, the better. His and her drinks, that's good. It has more than 300 searches, less than 20,000 competition, less than 10,000 competition, which is great. Another one could be the signature cocktail menu, signature drink sign. So you can see these are mostly around the 20,000 or under mark. So these would all be good long tail keyword ideas. And so that's what I've been going off of mostly, is just using the sales volume and then clicking into their listing like I just did with the analyzed listing and finding some tags that have more than 300 searches, less than 20,000 competition. And that's how I've been coming up with my product ideas lately. But if you want to know my entire process, then join us in the Sales Sprint where I walk you through it all step by step. So if we look back at the product, it is a signature cocktail sign, but a lot of people will just do weddings, and you do not have to stick with just weddings. So I asked ChatGPT what else I could use a signature drink sign for, and let me show you what it came up with. So here I said, what are the different occasions this drink sign can be used for? And then ChatGPT gave me back all of these ideas. So of course, weddings, but we have holiday parties. So naughty or nice drink bars, which is cool. And we have the holidays coming up. So that would be a great time to get this listed. Graduation, so like a senior spritz, that's cool. Birthday parties, baby showers, there were like gender reveals. So there are so many ways you could use a drink sign. It does not just have to be in the wedding niche. So you could literally have an entire shop with drink signs, and you would probably make good money with those, with just all different types of occasions. That is one shop idea that you could do your whole shop around, or you could just have a few products here and there. but these drink signs are doing well across multiple listings. And so that's why I added this digital product. Now we are over here on Canva. This is the template that I've created for my students that they can edit and get listed into their shop. So I just found some fonts. The drinks, I just went over here to elements and I just typed in cocktail drink. And so I found a few of them that look kind of realistic. And I actually had ChatGPT give me the names of these drinks and the ingredients used to make them. And so I can show you that prompt too. And so here's the prompt I used. I told ChatGPT what I was making and I told it what the drinks looked like so the ingredients could look more realistic. And this is what ChatGPT gave me. And I just copied and pasted it over here on my drinks. And so that's all I did to get this information. And you would want to make sure you're using free elements. So whenever you go cocktail and then graphics, see all, to make sure you're using free things, you'll go up here to this icon and go to price, do free. And now it's going to give you all of the free elements, because if you're doing an editable template, if you are using pro elements in your template, your customer would need Canva Pro to download the product. And most people are not going to have Canva Pro because they're just not going to be using it enough to pay for Canva Pro. So you would have a lot of angry customers if you use pro elements in your templates. So you want to stick with free elements when you are making an editable Canva template, so your customers will not need Canva Pro to download it. And creating a Canva template, so if we go to share, the template link, you can see it has this crown on it. That means it is a pro feature. So you need Canva Pro to create a template link, but your customer does not need Canva Pro to download it. So they can download the template for free, but to create a template link, you need Canva Pro. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, drop them for me in the comments. I get a lot of questions in my community of people asking if their customer needs Canva Pro to use their template. No, they do not need Canva Pro. You just need it to create the template link. And so if we go back over here to the listing and we go down, we can see what size. So here are all the sizes that they offer. So 5x7, 8x10, all of these sizes, which to stay competitive, you could also offer these different sizes too and just have them different links. So each page size would need to be its own Canva template link. And so you would just send the PDF with the different links to the different sizes. And in the sales sprint, I give you a template page that you can just insert your links in and you can customize it. But I'd show you how to deliver your Canva template links in the sales sprint. There's an entire video dedicated to that where I walk you through how to upload these Canva template links into Etsy, so it's easy for your customer to access their product. And so another way to stand out with this is to bundle your products too. So you could offer different variations of the signature drinks. So instead of just having like 2 drinks here, you could have like a his, hers, and theirs option. Little things like that can kind of make your product stand out. And then you can give them access to like a bundle of signature drink signs instead of just one drink sign, where they all look a little different depending on how they want to use the template. And so that's just one simple way you can use to make your product different from the other products on Etsy. Digital product idea number 2 is going to be Christmas invitations, which Q4 is huge. But one thing you want to know with Christmas invitations is you don't just want a boring invitation, which is what I see a lot of people making, because you are competing with all of the stores who make invitations. There's different companies that make invitations. There's a lot of invitations on Etsy. And so you need to be thinking about how can you stand out with your invitation. And so I have 3 examples here. So this is one of them. Right now it's getting 80 sales per month, and we're in June when I'm recording this. And so it's already getting 80 sales per month, and this is just going to keep going up as we get closer to Christmas. And it's been listed 8 months ago, which is great. And so still less than a year old. So I know that people think that just because a listing, like let's say a listing has been on here for 33 months, that is okay to list your product, even if it's similar. There are plenty of Christmas invitations. And if this person was like, I can't list a Christmas invitation because that invitation was listed 56 months ago, like there are new sellers popping up every single day, and you just have to figure out how to make your product different from what's already on Etsy. So it doesn't matter how long a listing has been on Etsy. This Christmas invitation is still selling, and we know that there are Christmas invitations that have probably been on Etsy for over 10 years. So it doesn't matter how long other products have been on the platform. You just need to make yours different some type of way. And so here's one idea of making your product different. And this is just a traditional Christmas invite with, your traditional Christmas items like the Santa hat, snowman, present, a Christmas tree. And so this is one way to do it. And you can see here they're kind of using more pastel or like watercolors. So that's one way to stand out with your Christmas invitation. This is another option. So this is more of a funny Christmas invitation. And we can see here it was listed about 8 months ago. So like right around Christmas time it was listed and it got 28 sales. And so all of these sales probably came like right around Christmas time. But this is another option. And so again, we will see sales pick up for this the closer we get to Christmas. I see Christmas sales start kind of spiking, trending upwards around September. So you'll definitely want your seasonal product listed before you the rule of thumb is to list your seasonal products at least 3 months in advance, because that will give Etsy time to get it categorized. So when that season rolls around, Etsy already knows what your product is and who to show it to. I always recommend listing like your Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, listing all of that in the summer to start focusing on those holidays in the summer. So that way Etsy already knows what your product is and they can start showing it to the right people whenever that we get closer to that season. And so this is another idea, but this is different, right? You don't really see this all the time. And so this is going to get that category of people who are looking for Friendsmas. So they're not doing Christmas necessarily, they're doing a Friendsmas and they're looking for funny things. So this is going to capture a specific audience who may be underserved because most people are just doing traditional cards. And then over here we have this type of card, which is a traditional card, but more of a twist. It's a dark card. So instead of a white background, this one has a black background and it's a pajama party. And so you can see here it has 93 sales and it's 4 months old. Already has over 350 sales in total in just 4 months. And if we go to analyze listing here, we can see it's just making them a few $100 a month, which is great. And so this is another way you can do your Christmas invitations is instead of giving them a white background like everyone else's, you can do a black background and make sure that people know that it can be used digitally too. So instead of just having a card, you can also show them that it's a digital option, which is what they're doing here. So they have a card to let people know they can print it off, but they also have it on a phone to let people know they can just send this to people digitally as well. They don't have to print it. And so those are things you'll want to do with your invitations is let people know the different ways that they can use your product without necessarily saying it. You're just showing them here so people can see like, oh, great, I can just text this to my friends. And so that just lets people know that they can use this product in different ways. And one thing I want to call out with invitations, so you can see here, there's 5x7. I've seen multiple sellers in different countries where they don't use inches. So this is 5 inches by 7 inches. And so I will have people in the sales sprint who are from a different country who does not use inches. And so they'll have their measurements in a different type of measurement that we do not use in the US, and we have no idea what the measurements are. And so instead of saying like 5 inches by 7 inches, they'll have like millimeters or something like that we do not use in the US. I mean, we do know about millimeters, but it's just not as common here as it is in another country. We just go by inches and centimeters. And so I will see that people will have like millimeters on their invitation, and 60% of Etsy buyers are in the United States. And so if we are seeing all of these invitations that say 5 inches by 7 inches, 5 inches by 7 inches, and then we get to yours and it says millimeters, we're like, what does that mean? So you want to make sure that if you are trying to sell to US-based customers, that you are using the US language, like things we are used to seeing, which would be inches instead of millimeters. And so just keep that in mind if you are in a different country, that 60% of Etsy buyers are in the US. And so you will want to use language that we use in the US. So like, for instance, if you're in the UK and you say mum, then you'll want to also, so you can have the option that says mum, but you also want to have an option that says mom, because that's typically what we say in the US, or some variation of mom. And so that's what you want to keep in mind. So just little language differences like that, you'll want to make sure that you are prioritizing your US customers, because we make up 60% of Etsy buyers. Okay, simple digital product idea number 3 is going to be these recipe templates, which Super easy to make, one page, which actually this one is a bundle, which is great that they've done that. Let me scroll through here and show you. So like you get all of these bonus pages, and this is one thing I definitely teach you to do in the sales sprint to increase your sales, is to include some type of bonus with your product, because someone, yeah, they could just buy this one page product, or they feel like, wow, I can get this one page product and then get these 13 bonus pages for free. And so that's what they're thinking. And people love getting free things, even if it's not really free. If they feel like they're just getting something for free, people love that. And so they're getting these cover pages and then these other pages that go along with the product. Your bonus needs to go along with the product. We can see here this listing. So it's 47 sales per month. Again, less than a year old, just 9 months old for this listing. They've made over 600 sales. And if we go to analyze listing, this is using Everbee, you can see here they're probably making about $100 per month with this listing, which is still fine. That is just $100 from one listing. If you have 50 products that are making you $100, let's do the math on that. So 50 products that are making you $100 profit a month, then that's $5,000. Okay. So that's what my point is here with saying, like, we don't need to glorify, the $10,000 months or $1,000 days. Yes, you can do that. But for most of us, we're not going to do that. We are just working on our Etsy shops around being a parent, around working a full-time job, around going to school full-time. And so we're just trying to fit in Etsy to get some extra money. And so if you have 50 listings bringing in an extra $100 a month, that's $5,000 right there. And so we don't necessarily need to be chasing one listing that can make us $10,000 or $30,000, like whatever people say. Like we can have a bunch of little products that bring in a few $100 per month, and that will add up for us. And so this is just a one-page recipe template. I have also created a template for this. So over here, this is the recipe template you'll get in the sales sprint that I've created. You can just edit it, and this is the template I based it off of. So I made some minimal changes to it to kind of make yours stand out a little more. And so you can just edit this, and because we don't want our product to be exactly like someone else's, I just found this picture. I just went over here to photos, and I put in Tuscan pasta, which is what this says. Since this is a template, I went ahead and did the free. That's what I found here. And so that's what you want to do. Remember, we're using free elements. And so you'll want all of these elements to be free so they can edit it themselves. Or this one is, you can use it in Word or Google Doc. So you can also set it up like that. And so it tells you how to do it here. You'll want to download your file just like this, where it says docx file. And so you can set it up to be used in Microsoft Word and Google Docs as well. And you can keep it as an editable Canva template if you'd like. So there are so many ways you can do this. And then what I would do too is just like what they did, is add in the bonus. And so you can add in the bonuses that you'd like. You can, tell them you get 20 recipe ideas, or you can add in different pages like they did, like meal planning pages. So add in, and what I would do is just go to ChatGPT and tell it I'm making a recipe template to sell on Etsy. Can you give me some digital product bonus ideas that I can include with my listing? And ChatGPT will give you a bunch of different ideas, and you'll just go through there and see which one fits what you're trying to accomplish. And so that's what I would do, is add some type of bonus with this, so it's not just the one page that they're getting. Digital product idea number 4 is going to be this kids summer calendar. And so we can see here 30 sales per month, which is fine. We don't need huge sales numbers. A sell a day is really good for one listing. We could see this is still less than a year old, so it was listed 11 months ago. And of course, this is going to sell mostly during the summer and then kind of die down because it is specific to June, July, and August. And so I like this listing because it is super simple to make. And you'll want to look through here and see the sizes that they are offering. So they're doing 18 by 24 and then 24 by 36. So you'll want to make sure you're offering at least those sizes in your digital product. And then if we go here, you can see it's $7.96, no sales that they're running. And so this is making them an extra $300 per month from this one listing. If we go down to the tags here, you can see here, kids summer schedule. That's what they are using. Family calendar, summer calendar is good. Editable calendar. And so you can just look at all these keywords that they're using here to rank their product. but this is still currently a bestseller, even though we're like halfway through summer already. And I'm sure it was selling a lot more prior to summer. So you'll probably see a bulk of your sales starting in May for this product and kind of dying down the closer we get to the end of summer. But the good thing about this is that it's going to keep selling year after year. So every summer that comes around, this is going to pick up in sales again. And so it's going to give you a spike in sales the closer we get to summer every single year. And so I did make a template for you guys in the sales sprint. So this is the template I created for you guys to use. You can list this in your shop. I did 18 by 24 inches. And so you can just copy this and resize. You can just resize this and make it into multiple sizes. This is the template you get access to on the sales sprint. You have your months here with your days and then just some ideas for them. And so again, you could add a bonus with this and tell them that they get 100 summer activity ideas for free. That would be their bonus. And so because a lot of parents are looking for screen-free activities to do with their kids to keep them busy during the summer so they're not bored. And so that would be really enticing for parents. They get the calendar and they also get 100 screen-free activities that they can do with their kids. And so that would be a really great bonus to go along with this. And you could use ChatGPT to do that. Tell it what you're making, tell it you want some screen-free, simple activity ideas, and it'll give you a big list of ideas. And you can just go through and choose the one you want. But this is the template. Super simple to make. I made this template in the morning while my kids were sleeping. It took me about 20 minutes to make this. So these product ideas, that's why I say they're beginner friendly. Because they don't take a lot of time to make these products. And so this is digital product idea number 4, very beginner friendly, especially with the template. Digital product idea number 5 is going to be animal clip art. And so a lot of people love clip art, a lot of people love animals. And so we're combining two popular things. So this listing has 30 sales in the last month. It's only 5 months old, and they're quickly coming up to about 200 sales in the last 5 months. And so with this, you get 62 PNGs with just quirky animals peeking around the corner. And so we can go through here and see. So you get 62 images. They tell you the sizes. And so this is what you will want to make sure your products include when you are listing your digital products, because this is your quote unquote competition. And so you'll want to make yours either different or better than this. And so here you can just see all of the different animals that you get with this product. If we go over here to analyze listing, this listing is making them about $100 per month, which is fine. And then we go down to their keywords. And you can see here they have pretty low competition keywords on all of theirs, which is probably how they're a bestseller and standing out, because they're using very low competition keywords. So like silly animal clip art, that's good. Quirky animal PNGs, playful animal PNG. And so you can see here that they are using very low competition keywords. So this is one way to do your clip art. So I have 3 examples of this. So this was one clip art example. The second clip art example is going to be the cute animals, because people just love these cute looking animals. So this one has about 68 sales per month, and it's been listed 11 months ago. It's also a bestseller. So watercolor cute animals is another idea. And you can see here people are doing these in bundles. So you're not just getting one animal, you're getting a bundle. So this one has 48 PNG files. The last one had 62 files. And so you'll want to bundle them together. And then if we look at analyze listing here, this one's making almost $400 per month. And this is not including the sales or the fee. So it's probably closer to like $300 or $250 per month with this one listing. And so that's another angle to take with this animal PNG, would be watercolors or just cute animals. And then the third idea is going to be just focusing on one type of animal. So this one is doing cows. And so they're just doing different types of cows, and they're all like on this fence. And so that's another way. So 5 months, and they are doing 30 sales per month with this one listing. And so with this listing, you get 15 images. So again, we're still sticking with bundles of images instead of just giving them one image. So those are 3 different ways you can do clip art. Is focusing on one type of animal. So this one did cows. Another way is to do watercolor animals, or just like little cute animals, which is probably mostly for like a nursery. And then the other way is to do like funny animals or like whimsical animals. So those are just 3 simple ways you can offer animal clip art to people that are obviously selling. Digital product idea number 6 is going to be this back to school PNGs. And we can see here, Everbee, this is so new, this listing less than a month old, and Everbee doesn't even have the data on it yet, but it's already a bestseller and it's just 1 month old. And so eventually the sales data will catch up, but it is a bestseller, which means that it's had a high volume of sales over the past 6 months. For this listing, that means it's had a high volume of sales in less than 1 month because that's as long as it's been listed. They did a trendy type of product idea. So I think this is like coquette. I think that's how people say it, but that is pretty trendy. And then we have the back to school season coming up. So right now it is June when I'm recording this. You will definitely want to be listing your back to school products if you haven't started listing them already. Start listing your back to school products because those are going to start blowing up as people start getting ready for the back to school season. And so we can see here, they've just did the coquette and then they put different grades. So, and you do not get the shirt. We can go through here. This is a digital download. So you do not get the shirt. What you get is 2 PNG files. So you get the PNG of this image and you put it on whatever you want to put it on, but you do not get the shirt. So this is idea number 1 for this back to school PNG, and it's more of like a preppy style shirt. The second idea is, again, this is a PNG file. So you do not get the shirt with it. You just get this image that you can put on your own shirt. And it's a bestseller as well, less than a month old again. And so you can see here how they've done this. So they've just written, they just have like the letters. So kindergarten, and then they write it out here, preschool. And so this is just a different way of doing kind of the same thing. And so that's pretty much what we're doing on Etsy. We see what's selling. It's a bestseller and it's less than a month old listing. And so that's, so you know that this is in high demand. And if we look over here at the keywords, Everbee doesn't even have the data because it's so new. If we look down here at the keywords, bestseller PNG, that doesn't tell us anything. Checkered teacher, that's better. Teacher aesthetic, let's see here, teacher tea. And they use very, very competitive keywords and they are still a bestseller. Now we don't know if they have a social media following, Pinterest, anything like that. If you do not want to use social media, you're going to want to pay more attention to your keywords and making sure that they have a high search volume. So I say anything over 300 searches per month. So this number should be greater than 300 and you want this number less than 20,000. The less you can get this competition number, the better. But you do want it to have some search volume too, which lets you know that people are searching for this product, but not many people are making it. And that's where we want to fit in with our new shops. So that's going to be digital product idea number 6 is going to be your back to school PNG. Really, back to school anything is going to do pretty well as we get closer to the back to school season. And then digital product idea number 7 is going to be these mock-ups. And these are for Etsy listings because one thing we know people struggle with as new Etsy sellers is doing their mock-ups. And so that's one way you can stand out is by helping someone solve a problem. And so if you are familiar with something, like we have someone in the sales sprint who does taxes, and so they sell tax related products to help people out during tax season. And so you'll want to find a problem that you have experience with solving, and that's going to help you make more money because you know the struggles that they're going through and you know how to solve those struggles for them. And so that's one thing this listing is doing. They're like, I know that people struggle with their mock-ups as new Etsy sellers, so I'm going to give them some mock-ups that they can use. And so they are making about 70 sales per month. This listing is only 5 months old. So if we go to analyze listing, we can see here this listing is probably making closer to like $250-ish a month with this one listing. If we look at their tags, you can see here. So they're doing like master resale rights, passive income. So they're just trying to find out what people are typing into the Etsy search bar. So like computer mockup, people would type that in, phone mockup, digital marketing, planner mockup. And so that's what they're doing. So things that people would type into the Etsy search bar, that's what you're going to want to use as your tags. And so this is one way to do your mockups. And let me show you another way. So this is example 2 for the mockups. And this one's getting about 146 sales per month. And it's 10 months old. And we can see here that they give you 135 mockups, but this is specifically for printable products. So if we go back over here, this is just Etsy listing mockup. So just generic. So they have phone mockups, they have computer screens, they have iPads. And so those, they have paper here. And so they are just doing a variety of different types of products and they're getting 70 sales per month. But the person who niched down and they're like, I'm going to give you more mockups and I'm only doing your mockups for printable products, they're doing 146 sales per month. And so that's why I say the more specific you can get, the better, because people will know that your product will help them. So anybody who makes printable products, they know this is for them. But with this listing, if I make a printable product, I'm not sure if I can use this. Like, I don't know if I really need this computer screen. And so I don't want to waste my money paying for something that I may not be able to use. But if I'm making printables, I know that I can use these listings. So the more specific you can get, this just shows you the more sales you can make because people know your products were made specifically for them. And so if we go over here to analyze listing, we can see here that this listing is making probably closer to around $500 or so per month. If we go down and look at their tags, so mockups for printables, mega mockup bundle, so that has a high keyword score. So again, we said we want our volume above at least 300, competition less than 20,000, which this meets that criteria. Here's another one, lead magnet template. So that's good for people who are looking for lead magnets because they're in digital marketing and they want a lead magnet. And then they also threw in some more competitive keywords like digital templates. So competitive, Canva mockups, product mockup. So those are more competitive, but you don't want to stay away from competitive tags because it can give you more search volume because Etsy can better identify what your product is. So we don't want to be afraid of high competition keywords. We just don't want that to be like our main focus keyword. So like their main keyword could be like mega mockup bundle. So Etsy knows if someone types that into the search bar, this is the product that they're looking for. But your product is shown in so many places that if someone is searching digital templates or Canva mockups, that this product could show up too. Those are the 7 digital products that are super beginner friendly. If you're in the sales sprint, you do have access to those templates that I've shown you. I've already added them in there for you. So make sure you use those if you want to add a few of these products in your Etsy shop. Knowing what to list is only half of the battle. And so if you want to know a few more of my selling strategies, make sure you watch this video over here where I go through how to blow up your Etsy shop with a few simple sales strategies.